for a record in the 4x15?
Oh, I don't know about that. That's a pretty staunch record. But we haven't run that event in a long time, so it'll be fun to put it out there, see what happens. I think we got good competition, and that's what it's really going to take in those longer relays is, Wisconsin and Virginia Tech and some of those that I think Virginia Tech won the DMR indoors this past year. I'm sure they're going to put a great one on the track on Saturday as well. But, yeah, hope that we have a good competitive race there. That's what it takes. And, again, in those long relays, you don't want a lot of separation, and you want to match up well. So,
Jack said you'd kind of been teasing the guys about the record. Like mention it to him, I guess.
Well, I tease our guys. I tease them about a lot of things, but one of the things is always mentioning, the gold standard that we talk about all the time, and that's being on our top 10 all-time list in each event. And we just haven't run it in a while, and so I'll tell you, it's always great to have a benchmark, and our benchmark. The former Razorbacks and what they had accomplished over the years and the phenomenal records that they have put up. So one way that as a coach I can gauge where my team and how talented my team is how they line up with those great past athletes. And, so we're going to see. We got some pretty good 1,500-meter runners, and, that's probably when you look at Razorback track and field, when you look at that top 10 list, when you look at the mile, when you look at the 1,500, you look at the 5K, I mean, that's the breadbasket of those past great programs. So if we can even, break that ice and get in there and be one of those teams that can be on that list, that's a pretty good accomplishment.
For the TV window on Saturday night with all those relays, which ones are you most excited about?
Well, I think, every one of them, again, we're going to get a measurement. But for certain, I think the 4x1 is going to be a hot race. I think Florida is leading the country right now. We might be ranked third or fourth in that relay. So that 4x1, you got TCU and Baylor in there as well. So that relay is going to be really hot. And so we're excited about, again, the competition, and that's what this is all about is bring great competition so it elevates our guys. And, we think our distance medley is good. I'm excited about that. We're going against the national champions, Virginia Tech. They have the national runner-up in the mile. We have the third-place finisher in the 3K from the indoor season, so we feel like that's going to be, if it all comes together on that final leg, that could be a great competitive race to watch. And you can't cut out Wisconsin either because, again, they have some very good, outstanding middle distance runners. 4x2 last year broke at the SEC relays last year, broke the stadium record, broke the Bernie Moore record down at LSU. I think it might have been a top 3 or 4 best time collegiately ever. And that was with Kenzo and Roy and Kamar and Obi, and so
the same guys.
So basically the same guys. So that relay was probably one of our highlights last year because that was not only how fast they ran, but where they did it, on the LSU stadium. So again, that relay looks good, and again the 4x4 as well. So there's going to be great relays, and we think that we're going to be competitive in some of those for sure.
Overall, since I guess Jack's on the 4x15, who are you putting on the DMR?
Well, that 4x15 is Friday night.
Okay.
So at the end of the regular track meet on Friday night, we are going to feature 2 relays. It's kind of a warm-up, gives kids a chance to double back on Saturday with those longer races, Nate. So we're going to run that 4x15 on Friday night. I think it's 4x15 in the sprint medley. And then on Saturday, we'll come back. We've got, good 24 hours before we come back and run the DMR. So, and that's kind of where our emphasis is going to be.
You know who all you're running on that 4x15?
I can probably pretty good guess. We have one more workout today because I think that 4th spot is kind of still open. But certainly Jack Bruce, Cameron Griffith, Kyle Hosting could possibly be on that. Ethan Main who ran well last weekend in California. So we'll decide who that fourth spot is, whether it's Kyle Hosting or Colin O'Mara or Austin Dahlquist or what have you. So we'll just see how the week goes.
How big is not having Alex George as far as all those kind of aspirations?
Well, Alex George would easily be on that. He ran 3:41 last year, which would put him number 2 on our team this year. I'm sure he would have been much improved. And so, yeah, I mean, the injury bug, there's no question, it's gotten to us. And that was one area that, has really been, it's been a hard year that way with the number of kids we've had hurt. And Alex George is a big one when it comes to our long relays, for sure. But we'll give somebody else a chance to get in there and compete, and we'll see what happens.
You've mentioned a lot of these great teams that are coming in. What do you expect the atmosphere to be like Friday and Saturday?
Well, I just hope I hope it's a solid, good atmosphere. I hope that we get some people to come over and watch some great track and field in this beautiful stadium. I think just the setting alone on a Saturday night, the weather looks good, but even on Friday too, I just think the setting alone is aesthetically pleasing. It does match it. When you look at golf or you look at baseball too, and you look at Baum Stadium, it's aesthetically pleasing to be there. It just feels good. And we think that our facility feels great too when it comes to track and field with how it's configured and how many seats we have and our great scoreboard at the end on the north end. And so we just hope that we get a great atmosphere, I think, on Saturday with all the field events being done and just the relays out there. All those athletes that competed the day before, all those field event people will be in the stands and hopefully rooting on their team. And we can create some energy in the building because, again, that's what brings, in any sport, that's what brings that exceptional those exceptional performances come from the energy in the building, and we hope that we have good energy.
This is going to be, I guess, Jack's a senior. You probably have some other seniors running their last home meet. Just kind of how do you feel about that, and maybe the contributions they've had and the fact that they get to go out with a big meet at home like this?
And that was one of the motivations too. We host such great indoor meets, and that Tyson indoor facility is phenomenal. And we've had SEC championships. You guys have been there before. You know what that is like. There's not almost a better meet than that. And so that was part of the thought process in this outdoor championship is to the outdoor meet is to have these guys go out on their home track in top shape, not an early season meet, but a meet when they're fit and they're ready to go and run some significant and do some significant things. And so that's what the end of April gives us. Looks like the weather now is going to be good, and don't want to jinx myself on that, but it's awesome that Kenzo Cotton, and Jack Bruce and Kamar Mowat are going to go out amongst a few others that are going to go out on their home track on a beautiful Saturday night and with some great competition. It can't get better. We've missed that over the last 7 or 8 years. It's always been somewhere else on somebody else's track, and so we're excited about that.
Oregon just got that 7-year deal for the national championships outdoor, and how is this kind of a chance to have some more national meets in Fayetteville?
Well, when we met last week, we were hoping that we'd get the bid for 2020, and that didn't happen. We knew that was going to be a tough go. We know that Oregon is building a huge facility that will be brand new, and it'll after the World Championships, continue to host NCAA championships. I tell my guys all the time, see it before it happens. And we saw this before it happened. We knew that, and we saw the writing on the wall that Oregon wants to be that Omaha kind of place. And so that's, again, another layer of why we're having this meet, because we just feel like we've got a world-class facility, and we want to do it at a time when our kids are in great shape. So, disappointed we didn't get it, but you know what? That's competition, and it's in one instance it's great for the sport because again there's people that want to have it, and so I think it's good for the sport in that regard. But obviously, it takes us out of town on that critical weekend. So we see it before it happens. We try to get another meet rolling.
I mean, they announced Texas has it for 2 years, and then Oregon again. I mean, was that disappointing that the little interim there goes to Texas?
Yeah, I had no comment on that. I'm sure they'll do a great job, and that's just the way it goes. That's how competitive it is out there in everything that we're doing, whether it's the indoor track, the outdoor track, the cross country course, the amenity. We're in the deep end of the pool, and we're going to have to get on with what we do best and do the best job we can. So
it's such a good facility. I mean, do you think they're feeling as well? Arkansas gets indoors, so we won't give them outdoors, or why do you think they haven't rewarded you guys?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's somebody that doesn't like us there. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if they were looking for a 2-year bid. We just bid for 1 out of the 2 years, so they might have been looking for a place to go 2 years in a row. Probably makes it easier on the committee and everybody with arrangements that now that's the MO, that they're doubling up on things, and we only bid for 20. We didn't bid for 19. So who knows? But we'll figure out another way to continue to bring great track and field here to Fayetteville. So.
I think with that refurbished stadium or renovated stadium, I guess rebuilt stadium, Oregon's going to have it like a stranglehold on it, or do you see it moving around after
7 years?
It's I honestly I haven't got that deep into the weeds with it as far as what's going to happen. I just foresee it being that way. You've got Nike there, and it all started for Mr. Knight on Haywood Field, and when he was a track athlete, and so as far as I'm concerned, that's where it's going to be. But that doesn't mean that we can't do things to continue to elevate our program and to elevate our facilities, and know that we've got something special here, and we're going to continue to flaunt it as much as we can. And you never know what happens down the road, but you got to be ready to host, and you got to be ready to do things. And our administration, the way they've resurfaced our track and the way they've upgraded our scoreboard, and with the SEC, we host the SEC Outdoor Championships here next year, and so there's going to be a freshening up of the facility for that world-class meet. So we got other fish to fry, and we're not going to worry about it. We're just it's the hand we've been dealt that way, and we're going to do what we can to make Fayetteville a great destination on other dates, and thus this weekend.
You guys have the regionals in 2021, or when is that?
I think
West
so,
Region?
22. It might be 22. Yeah, I mean, we host the golf championships, and so that's also great for Northwest Arkansas, is the variety of sports that we host championships in, and that's going to be a great event. So, we'll just move on.